forsake me.
Let it be written, so let it be done.
Hey, if everybody can see me and hear me, you know you're on the #1 interview platform for New Jersey hip hop and hip hop in general. Like, let's get some respect out here to who Heritage Hip Hop is. It's not me, it's us. I am Karev at Heritage Hip Hop, and I thank you for joining me today. Thank you for your time, but more importantly, thank you for coming in and hitting the like button. If you're watching this now, hit that like button because we got to get on the algorithm. See that? All types of stuff going on. Hit the like button because we have to hit the algorithm. People don't know we exist if the algorithm is not there. Shout out to Sliding Doors. She up in here. Peace. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I like to say we are coming up on show 200, and this actually might be show 200. For show 200, we have somebody who is an impeccable person with wordplay. See, when y'all look at females out there, y'all grimy motherfuckers, y'all look to see if somebody looks good, and then you listen. This female not only has the look that you like, but she has the dexterity and wordplay that will make you listen. And one thing about a person, when they do rhyme, they not only want to listen, they want to be heard. Do you feel their words? Do you understand what they're talking about? And most importantly, can you relate to the story that they're telling? The mark of an MC is being able to talk to you and relate, not talk to you, so you get a head nod. This artist I have tonight not only is a new face to maybe you, but she's a face that you will remember for many reasons. One, because she has presence. Two, because she has technique. And three, because she's worthy of your attention. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, welcome to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, Flufgod.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's so awesome to be here with you guys tonight. Thank you, Heritage Hip Hop. Thank you, Karev, for bringing me up here. And I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm so for you guys to get to know me a little better. You feel me? So,
well, it's a pleasure to get to talk to you. It's amazing that God allows me the opportunity to meet people that are amazing and come from different walks of life. So before I start this interview, I just like to tell you it is an honor to get to talk to you face to face, kind of. And more importantly, it's an honor to get to show the world that whenever people look at people of our culture or people of our ethnic identities and they think we're good for nothing, it's a pleasure for me to show them that God made no mistakes and we're great at something other than what they think. So thank you very much.
Exactly. Those are beautiful words that you started off with. You feel me? We all have that thing, that niche. And as long as we learn how to tap into that creativity, that's what's going to open all the doors. So salute to that for sure.
So you get to pick. Do you want to start from the middle or do you want to start from the beginning?
Whew, being that I don't know what the middle or the beginning entails, let's start from the beginning.
Okay. When did you choose hip hop? How did you find that gift?
Okay, so it started when I was really, really young. I was in elementary school. I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I was also always very prone to writing poetry. Like I had A++s in English class. I was really good at essays. You know, I won a couple spelling bees, so I was always into writing. And I also always went to church with my grandmother. Like she always made sure I was in church. And I feel like that's really where my gift where my love for music really came was from church, because I saw so many powerful women up there with these powerful voices, and just the way that they used that platform to impact people. And I just felt like that was such a beautiful thing. So, it started there. And then I started writing poetry. And through poetry, when I got to high school, this is a funny story, my first boyfriend ever, he actually rapped. So, I would read him my poems all the time. And the funny thing is, his sister also rapped. So one day we were all hanging out and they had an instrumental on and they just started, spitting off the dome. And I was watching them and I'm like, wow, this is so cool. And then his sister was like, hey, why don't you try spitting one of your poems to this beat? And she turned the beat on. And the minute she turned it on, it just clicked. Like I was just good at it somehow. Like I was able to coordinate my writing with the music perfectly, and I just fell in love. And from there, like my want to know more about hip hop, more about music, more about lyricism, where it all started was then and there. I guess I was about, like, I would say like 13 or 14 was when I really got started developing my love for hip hop, for sure.
What's very unique about hip hop is we always think that hip hop, we choose to do hip hop, but hip hop always chooses us. Besides rhyming, what part of the culture speaks to your heart?
I think it's the diversity in the culture of it. Like there's so many angles and so many ways that different cultures influence hip hop. And I feel like I love that aspect of it because I'm Colombian, I'm Hispanic for those who don't know. And growing up, not only was I always listening to, salsa, merengue, bachata, cumbia, all of these things. And my mom was a house head. Like she was always playing house music and all of these things intertwined. I just love the culture aspect of hip hop, aside from the lyricism and the bars. Like I love the way it brings everybody together. You know what I mean? For one moment, everyone can just put their differences aside to love this genre. You know what I mean? And that's definitely one of the things that has made me gravitate so hard towards this, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I was talking to some of my friends today, and we talked about how your music or your love of food is a tradition that's passed down to your
Exactly.
parents or your grandma. Like one person talked about when his grandma would braid his hair and he would tell stories, and another one told stories over food, and we had the griots of our families tell about our family history. And
Exactly.
one thing I would say about Latin culture, Hispanic culture, whatever people want to label it as, you know what I'm talking about.
Right, right.
One thing that I love about that part of the culture that it brought to hip hop was the drum. It was like it was the drum, it was the soul, it was the sounds. Cause for me, that part of hip hop for me started when I found Tito Puente,
Oh, that's a very
Hector, yeah, Hector Lavoe,
Hector Lavoe, Willie Colon, those
Willie
guys.
Colon, Celia Cruz.
Yeah,
And that's just the top, y'all. There's many more that y'all could look into.
of course.
But as we talk about James Brown being the godfather of hip hop,
Exactly.
we have Bob James as
Okay.
a godfather of hip hop. Who from Latin culture, in your opinion, is a godfather of hip hop that people may or may not know that you see the influences in their music and we carry that tradition on, whether known or unknown?
I definitely feel like Hector Lavoe is definitely one of them. Willie Colon, Hector Lavoe, because I feel like if you listen to a lot of Pun's records, he shouts out Lavoe in a lot of them. And even in his imagery and those kind of things, like that salsa culture, it was always very prominent. So I feel like he was definitely one of the pioneers. Obviously, Pun himself, you know what I mean? He's Puerto Rican and he brought this different flavor, aside from the fact that he was completely and utterly the best lyrically, like he brought a different Hispanic feel to hip hop. And I feel like he was one of the big pioneers when it came to that added a lot of those Hispanic roots to hip hop. And yeah, definitely Hector Lavoe, definitely Pun. Willie Colon, he was very, very intricate with instruments. You know what I mean? He played the trombone, he played the saxophone, he played the drums, he played the congos. So all of those beats are very relative to, I feel like, to the hip hop sound in a way. You know what I mean? I've always said I want to experiment with like us meshing hip hop with salsa together, like how unique that sound would be. So definitely those three for sure.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, yeah, shout out to Pun, because what was it, 100%? That that that
Yes,
that did it. You know what I'm saying? That was like amazing because it brought many people to the dance floor, but also kept the culture prevalent.
exactly.
And
Yes,
but one thing I don't like, see, in mainstream culture, which is called Cassidy, if y'all don't know, they'll take all Hispanic and Latin people and put them in one thing,
exactly.
and
Yep.
they negate the different parts of the cultures that makes them unique.
Right.
And I don't mean the flags because that's just colonialism. I'm not talking about that. You said you're what again? What you say? You're
Colombia.
Colombian.
Yep.
What from Colombia came from hip hop that elevated hip hop to the standard where now you could be one of the head faces of such a movement?
Okay, well there's a lot of dope stars that came out of Colombia, and I feel like not even the fact that they were hip hop artists, just the fact that they pretty much put Colombia on the map as far as, hey, we're here. We know about music. We know what we're doing. People like Shakira, people like Carlos Vives. He's a very talented with the accordion sounding cumbia. Cumbia is a genre from Colombia that's very prevalent, very popular, and it's a lot of like congos, a lot of accordions, and those sounds together are so super dope. So I would definitely say Shakira is definitely one of them. Juanes is another one who's definitely very popular. He's been on different collabs with American artists. Um, and yeah, definitely, I feel like Shakira's one of the big ones that have given a lot of maybe the women in hip hop that are also Hispanic that are coming in the game now a lot of confidence, because she's just amazing. She can act, she can sing. She's done features with Beyonce. She's done features with a lot of people in the industry. You know what I mean? So she's definitely paved the way. Definitely for me, growing up watching her, she was definitely somebody I looked up to, because I was like, if somebody from Colombia could do it, so can I. You know what I mean? So she definitely gave me a lot of confidence. Big pioneer from Colombia. If you guys didn't know, Shakira, for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, I told you when you come to Heritage Hip Hop, who would have asked those questions? Who would have cared enough to ask? Because they just want to know about your music and to get you out the studio. We're building with one of the best new voices that you can hear out of 201. That's New Jersey, by the way. Shout out
Yeah,
to Jersey.
for real. It's all about the roots, it's all about really exploring the artist and where they come from, where the love of the music comes from, you know what I mean? And it definitely came a lot from my Hispanic roots, my Colombian roots. So definitely have to hold a lot of respect for that, for sure.
But something you said kind of got me real interested. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to take this interview to the Let's Build section of the interview. Let's Build is where we stick on one thing that the artist has said, and we're going to flesh it out based on their words. You talked about the congos and things like that, right?
Yes.
And the drum is one of the most instrumental parts of hip hop. There's only three instruments in hip hop that matters. There's the drum, there's the voice, and then there's your soul.
Yes.
What instrument do you think is missing that will bring out the best out of you and hip hop in general?
That's definitely an interesting question, because it's something I've thought about lately. And it brings me back to when I was about in fourth grade. I actually was in a high school band. I played the flute. And I feel like the flute produces such beautiful sounds. And that is an instrument that you do hear sometimes in music, and I feel like it adds such a unique flavor, such a unique sound. And that's definitely an instrument that maybe if I tried to play it again now, I might will be able to. I'm not sure. I haven't tried for a long time, but I feel like that would definitely add a different dynamic. And kind of, and you hear the flute a lot in a lot of the new age hip hop now, and future songs. There's really dope flute sounds. So definitely the flute. I feel like maybe maybe there's this instrument, and it's like I'm not sure what the name is right now. Maybe you can help me. It's like you rub these metal sticks against this thing. It's like it gives like a scratchy sound a little bit. So I feel like that would be really dope too. Maybe some maracas, you know what I mean? Get some maracas in there. Definitely some instruments from the Hispanic culture that I think would influence my sound and hip hop sound for sure.
The reason why I asked that is because when people start rhyming and they get into the rhyme game, they always follow the pattern of what's out to start building their sound.
Exactly.
And you are unfairly judged by that.
Yes.
Because for those who did not know, we're in the demo era of hip hop, where people's demos and mixtapes are like they're opening up to the world, and people are not. There have not been A&R. There's nobody really grooming the artist. We're seeing raw art in its form. And I asked you that question because raw art comes from the heart and it comes from your imagination.
Yes, sir.
When someone brings to you something, how do you turn something into a masterpiece?
Well, first of all, it depends. It depends what they're bringing me. Most of the time, it's an instrumental. I have a lot of people I work with that send me different beats. My brother Elsewhere, shout out to my brother Elsewhere. He makes beats. He sends me a lot of beats. My boy Big Dog. So I feel like when something like that is presented to me, I have to sit with the beat. I have to think about where that beat is taking me. It's usually to a time in my life. And through that emotion is where I start building the song. You know what I mean? Where in my life do I have those words where it's going to come out and personificate in music? You know what I mean? So a lot of it is, I feel like a lot of music does that for me. Like when I hear a song, it brings me either to a moment in time or a feeling or an emotion. So whatever that sound, whatever that beat sounds like to me, whatever emotion it sounds like, whatever moment it sounds like, that's when I start building the lyrics around it. And it's really interesting because I know a lot of people have different outlooks on this. Like, for example, I was watching an interview one time with Joel Ortiz, and he was talking about how the way he does it is he will make his music video first, and then he starts writing. And I'm like, okay, that's different, that's unique, and I can understand where that comes from because he wants to visualize it. He wants to visualize his words first. But with me, it's a lot about the feeling. And I feel like when you listen to my music, that's what I'm trying to portray to you. Like, I want you to feel the emotion. I want you to be in that moment where I was in and feeling the emotions that I felt when I wrote what I wrote. You know what I mean? So definitely that's how I put it together. For
And
sure.
that's dope because we have a producer on right now. He said you have never experienced Ipkiss. Shout out to Stan Ipkiss, one of the top producers in Jersey. Because I mean, hey, if you want one of them people who not discounting anybody you work with, but that's a special person right there. I don't know what to tell you. You want some of them from fire beats that are challenge and bring the best out of you. Shout out to Stan Ipkiss. You know what I'm saying?
Now I know about Ipkiss for sure, for sure. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it's definitely about the feeling and the emotion. And I feel like sometimes people are very critical about that. People are very critical about how transparent you are with those things. And it's like, for me, like, I wouldn't have the same love for music if I wasn't able to express those feelings and those emotions. You know what I mean? So I know it's probably a girly thing or whatever, but I feel like no, because nowadays a lot of the women they're not really talking about how they feel. They're talking about other things. Let's not get too deep into that, but we already know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very, very cautious about what I'm putting out there because I feel like music is a frequency, and when someone's listening to your music, you're letting them enter that frequency, and it's like you want them to get something positive from it or something knowledgeable. So
Oh
that's
no, we gonna touch on that. We gonna touch on the women and that lack of knowledge that's coming from the you ain't the issue of fart and all this other stuff. We gonna talk about that, but not right now. Not right now. What I want to say is I'm gonna challenge your mind. Shout
Mhm.
out to the Kool-Aid in the cup. We're gonna challenge your mind.
This strawberry lemonade.
Shout out to strawberry lemonade in the cup. Word up. We're gonna challenge your mind because I have a theory for you. There's only 3 instruments in hip hop: poverty, pain, and the dream.
Mhm.
What fuels your music? The poverty, the pain, or your dream?
That might be the most challenging question because it's really all three. But yeah, honestly, it's really all three for me. But if I really had to pick one, as I guess sad it might sound, it probably might be the pain, um, followed up with the dream. But yeah, I feel like you said the pain, right? That was one of them. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of my music has come from moments where I was frustrated, where I didn't have another outlet. And, that's the first thing I gravitated towards. And the dream is definitely the runner up because that's always on my mind. That's always the chip on my shoulder. Like anytime I've tried to run away from it or say, hey, maybe I'm not meant for this, maybe this is not my path, or other people aren't accepting of it, so maybe I should quit. Like that was always there, like, no, you can't. It's always kind of like bothering me, you know what I'm not bothering me, but it's just like a chip there that I have to fuel. So yeah, definitely the pain and then the dream. I can't narrow it down to one. I'm sorry, I tried.
That was the trick in the question because we always talk about the pillars of hip hop,
Yeah.
b-boying, breakdancing, talk about DJing, graffiti, rhymes. And now it's turned into digital arena and things like that, entrepreneurship and everything. But the number one fueling thing that aided hip hop in becoming is poverty, because it was through poverty and people not having that we found an outlet to let our voices ring. In the Bible, it says, even if a man is quiet and never speaks again, even the rocks will find a way to open up and to praise God without man's knowledge.
Yes.
And to the knowledge of those, I'm sorry, to the ignorance of those who don't believe in us, we have praised God in a way where we now are starting to find out that the most significant line of hip hop is not where you're from, it's where you're at. It's called the first significant line of hip hop is let there be light.
Right.
Because through light you find inspiration, and inspiration is also another word for spirit. So it says when God's spirit walked across the waters and made the land, that was his breath. I
Right.
bring that up to you because in goddessness, you bring life to people when you hit a microphone and you give them an idea, a thought, a rhythm, a pattern, a state of being through what you manifest. What is the most powerful rhyme that you've spoken, and how did that instrument make your music better for those who hear you and relate to you?
Okay. The most powerful rhyme that I've spoken. Okay, so I feel like it was no, for sure it was in definitely one of my songs called it's a long title and it's a little hard to pronounce, but it's called Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And what that is, it's a Buddhist chant to protect you from negative energy, to keep you safe, to keep the evil away. So in that song, so that song has sound frequencies in it. In the beginning, it's like a woman's kind of singing a melody, and that frequency right there is intertwined with the actual chant. So it's all protecting you, the whole song. And what I'm talking about, and the way I started that song was I put $5 in the cup every morning of the homeless lady on the bus. So that intro was so important to me because I feel like when you have to take, there was a time in my life, this is hitting on the poverty aspect of it. There was obviously a time in my life where, I didn't have a car. I wasn't blessed enough to have that luxury, and I had to take public transportation till I was like 25 or 26 years old. Like, no shame in it. So I feel like through having to take public transportation, you really get to experience life more. Because and think about it, when you're driving in a car, there's a lot of things you're missing. You're not seeing a lot of what's going on around you because you're in that space, you're in that cubicle, you're enclosed. But when you're out in the world, on the buses, on the trains, like, you're really experiencing everyone's energy at the same time. So when I wrote that bar, it pretty much was inspired by an experience that I had. And it was, every day I would take the same bus to work, and there was a homeless woman who would come on the bus. And she obviously, was homeless, but she sang so beautifully. And she would sing a different song every day, and she would, ask for money and stuff like that. And what I noticed was that people all around were just not paying attention. Nobody was paying attention to her. You know what I mean? Like, they just treated her like she was nothing, like she wasn't even there. And it just impacted me so much because she had such a gift and she was so talented, and her voice itself made her so beautiful to me in my eyes. And in the song, I talk about how people are with their heads down, making sure they networks. And it's like, that's really what everybody was focused on. If their Wi-Fi was working, if their Instagram was loading up, if their text message was being answered. Nobody really took the moment to be like, wow, this lady sings beautifully. And that's where that song was born. So definitely one of the most impactful things I've ever written. And I feel like a lot of the people who have listened to that song relate to me on that. So for sure, definitely that song, those bars.
Shout out to Cloud Bars. If y'all don't know, it's on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How you feeling so far? You all right?
I'm good. I'm feeling great. I love these questions. Very interactive, very to the nitty gritty. And that's how it's supposed to be. So I'm feeling good. I hope everyone's feeling good too. I hope everyone's having a good time. Whoever's tuned in, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I'm feeling great.
So everybody out there, stay tuned. We're gonna go to commercial right now. When we get back, we really gonna dive into some of these bars. So stay tuned.
Hey, Redman is in the building, of course. Jersey's finest, all about them bars, marijuana smoker. Hey, PSA announcement. I need everybody go support. That's right, support my fucking state, my city. Heritage Hip Hop, a New Jersey media source that celebrates New Jersey hip hop worldwide. Facts. And we are celebrating our legends right here, Jersey, baby. Please subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on social media. That is Heritage Hip Hop on social media. Jersey, you know I love you. Jersey, you know we got bars and we got music and we got legends all day. And if you believe in Jersey and you love Jersey like I do, support that Heritage Hip Hop on all social media platforms. This is Redman and I approve this message.
And we are back. And thank you for joining us once again on the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. Hey, listen, we talk about life. We talk about instances. We went from the beginning to a little bit of the middle. But y'all here for music. And it's time to get to some of these bars.
Let's do it.
And being that you first started from freestyling with your then boyfriend and his family or whatever to beats, you've said that you've climbed different levels when it comes to music. And I believe you have. Whether you're rhyming at somebody's house to go into a studio, how have you grown through that transition? And how have you gotten better in your opinion?
Well, it's definitely been a long road, a hard road. I've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. I feel like in the beginning, I was very shy. It was almost like a little secret that I didn't want anybody to know about, because I feel like people judged me a lot. I feel like my friends were listening to more R&B, and I was listening to more of the Locks and Big L and all this other stuff. And I don't know, I didn't feel like I fit in with them. So I feel like that was a barrier that I broke in itself. The fact that after a while, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to put it all out there, and I'm going to show people who I really am and not hold back, and really show, the real me. So, that was my first obstacle, overcoming what people thought of it, the judgment side of it, how it was going to look to the outsider. I was like, you know what, I'm going to let all of that go, all those insecurities go. And not for nothing, that's definitely the foundation of it all. If you don't have that, if you don't break that barrier with yourself to feel confident enough to not care what others think and to just be authentically you, I feel like people don't give enough credit to themselves for just taking that step. So that was the first step. And then, I started putting my stuff on SoundCloud. I started talking to video directors and creative directors, and really letting them know, I'm very serious about this. I really want to do this. It's not a joke anymore. It's not just a little, oh, here, spit a rhyme, Fluff. Like, I really wanted to become something. And, I put a few videos out, and then after that, I really started getting more comfortable in the studio. There was a lot of things I didn't know about recording, and that was very important too. I worked with a lot of people who really were on my team, who wanted me to progress and to move further ahead. So I feel like networking was definitely another big step, a big obstacle I had to overcome, because it's not always easy to get around the right people. That's a big thing with this industry. Like, people don't understand how important it is to have those positive minds around you who believe in what you're doing and who want to put their dream together with yours. It's not just about one person's dream by themselves. It's about everyone's collective dream. And through these people, I was able to move forward. And then I started getting into my showcases and stuff like that. I met a lot of people through the showcases. I remember one of the first people who gave me the chance to be in one of their showcases was Naeem Rain. I don't know if you guys know him. He's super dope. Check him out. I don't know if he's tuned in, but he definitely, gave me one of my first opportunities. Then Break a Leg, my boy Kosan, he put up a flyer for the open mic, and I went. And at that time, I had taken a little break from rapping for like 2 years, because I was in that questioning phase. Like, should I be doing this? Should I just give up? Should I do something else? And when I saw that flyer, it just jolted me like, hey. And another person who definitely inspired me was Nevaeh. She's amazing. She's awesome. And I've known her since high school. And, she's so powerful when she spits, when she sings, when she performs. And looking at her posts and her Instagram, she inspired me like, hey, like the women are coming up. Like, I gotta do this. It's now or never, So definitely Kosan. And then, through Kosan, I met Keys, and they made me part of the team. And they've definitely propelled my career so much, and I'm so grateful for them. They're always there for me. They're very supportive. Shout out to True and Living. So yeah, I'm just very. I feel like I've overcome the obstacles as far as breaking that confidence barrier. Like, I'm here to stay. I'm not going anywhere, and definitely being consistent with content. That's a big thing now. People really have to stay on top of that. So I feel like I've grown a lot in those areas. I've grown a lot with being more consistent, with making sure I'm giving the people what they want, staying consistent with my freestyles, with my showcases, and, doing things like this, obviously trying to get for the people to know me a little better. So yeah, overall, I feel like I've grown in those aspects for sure, for sure.
As you grow, you look down at the competition, right? because you elevate. I mean, it's natural. It's not to put anybody down, but as you elevate, your competition gets distant because you start learning that you're in your own lane and that you don't really have competition but yourself.
Right.
Before we get into that, I want to give a shout out to your cat for climbing that door because your cat, your cat climbed that door and you was like, how did you get up there? How are you going to get down? And the cat found its way, huh?
My cat is crazy, let me tell y'all, but she's my best friend.
But that cat is a symbolism of your bars. Cause I think it was in, give me one second, look at my notes. Goddess Rap off of Cloud Bars. You talked about the levels of music that you climb. And knowing that you're in your own lane, when you elevate, you start to judge yourself off of yourself. When did you finally notice that you were looking down at yourself and saw your elevation for the first time?
Let's see. I would definitely say at Where Beats Meets Bars, my first Where Beats Meets Bars. Let me just start off by saying I was a nervous wreck. I was a nervous wreck going into that because it was the first time that I was really entering like a competition where it mattered, you know what I mean? Like people were gonna be judging me off the thing that I love to do. And although there's always an element of judging when you're putting out new music and things like that, it wasn't as critical as that moment. Like there was eyes on me, there were people judging, and I was just like, are these people gonna accept me? You know, am I gonna be taken seriously? All these questions were arising, and I was nervous. But when I got there, I got a little more comfortable because I saw like everyone had the same hunger. Everybody was after the same goal, and that fueled my motivation. Like, all right, I'm in here. I'm ready to do this. And yeah, I feel like that night I won second place, and it felt amazing because it was like validating. This is meant for me. I'm in my purpose. I'm doing what I'm meant to do. This is not just a question in my mind. Should I be doing this? Should I not? What are people going to think of it? Like people loved it. They they embraced me, and they were like, you're one of us. Like don't think that you're not. And from ever since that was last year. That was last year in June. And I'm not ashamed to admit that it was just last year because beforehand I wasn't that sure of myself. Like I put music out and I let people hear it, but it was always like, damn, will they like it? Will they not? Do they like it? They're not liking my post. They're not playing my record. Why not? This and that. And I had to stop looking at it that way for it to actually take off. I had to stop limiting myself with those thoughts. And I feel like that night really, really made that possible for me. And that's why I appreciate Keith and my team and everyone involved with Where Beats Meets Bars. Like they really made that possible for me. So definitely that night for sure. I'll never forget that. I won't. It was definitely a very memorable experience.
Those are called milestones. And in the movies of our life, we have to accept the role of being the runner-up, the winner, the loser, and the pretender. The winner of so many of a different level, if not that, the student and the teacher. I want to ask you this question because this is a profound question for me to you.
Yeah.
You love to rhyme and you love to make music.
Yes.
In your project that came out, Cloud Bars, there were no hooks.
Mm-hmm.
You went straight through the show bar integrity through the project. Why did you make your project that way? And what did you prove to yourself in making it that way?
So I definitely had a mission with that project, and it was pretty much that I didn't want people to think like, oh, this girl just woke up one day and decided to start rapping. Like I wanted to put that out first as my first project so that, after I put out various other projects after it, everyone can go back to that and say, hey, like this girl didn't just start rapping out of nowhere. Like she knows what she's doing. She's rapping over Big L beats. She's rapping over Alchemist beats. She's rapping over the locks beats. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted them to know like she knows the culture. She's not culture vulturing. She didn't just bump her head one day and say, "Hey, I'm gonna start rapping." I wanted people to know like I got bars. I don't mean to be like cocky about it or anything. I'm humble and I always want to remain that way. But that really was my project. Like let's say somebody asked you like, "Oh, you heard of Fluff?" "Yeah, I heard of her, blah blah blah." "Damn, I don't really know though. Could she rap?" "Yup, listen to this." Like that's the project that I wanted for that. Like, "Oh, you think I can't rap? Okay, listen to this whole thing." You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of like my haha, like, you know what I mean, for my next projects to come. Like I'm not just some nobody. Like I really does this, and that's the reason why I did it that way. And I feel like through doing that, it validated it for me as well, because it was received so well by everyone. Like people were like, "Whoa, who's this? Like, who's this girl? Like, we never heard of you." And it's like, yeah, I'm here now. I'm here to stay. I'm ready to do this. And yeah, that's the reason why I did that. And it's funny because I really didn't. Feel like I didn't really mean for there not to be any hooks there, but that's just the way it turned out at the end. When I put all those songs together, it just happens. It just so happened that they didn't have any hooks, and a lot of people ask me like, "You sure you want to do that? You don't want to have at least one?" And I'm like, "Nah, I want it to be super raw, super. I just wanted to showcase my skill level. You know what I mean?" And I felt like that was one of the best ways to do it.
Okay, I respect that. Before we go on with this interview,
Mhm.
ladies and gentlemen, there were 11 people in here, and I have 2 likes. Stop robbing the artist of her shine. Anybody in there putting comments down, y'all need to be hitting that like button because she's worth this interview and her music is worth listening to. If you're on Instagram, thank you for joining us. Follow us on YouTube, the main interview, and hit that like button because she deserves it. Everybody in here, I know who hit that like button and who didn't. Hit the like button. It's right here on my screen. Now let's continue because I wanted to give you that respect because you need this because you are worth it and you are worthy.
Thank you, y'all. All the likes are appreciated. All the love is appreciated. You feel me? Even if it's 2, 3, 4 people, it don't matter. Like it means something to me that you guys are here listening to me, listening to my story and getting to know me. So shout out to y'all. Give yourselves a hand. How about that?
Exactly. No,
I-
history in the making. But y'all know what I like to do. Let's talk about this Griselda flow real quick because you took "Calm Down," one of the best songs that camp. Shout out to the Queens camp that made that. You
yes.
took you took "Calm Down" and you made it an aggressive. You matched the energy of the original with an aggression that's very tempered. Why? Why did you hit the beat that way? And what does that beat do to you as an MC?
Well, it all kind of goes back to the title of what I decided to name the freestyle, which is Griselda Flow. And I'm sure all of y'all have seen that new Griselda show on Netflix. If you haven't, you need to check that out. But that woman is amazing in so many ways. She's insane, but also amazing. And she was Colombian. So, I definitely incorporated my heritage with that title in itself. But I kind of wanted to emulate Griselda. Like I wanted to kind of show her personality in the hip hop form. She was a very ruthless woman. She didn't care what she had to do to get to where she needed to get. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not super evil like that, but at the same time my drive speaks. Like I don't care what obstacles I have to overcome. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna deliver. I'm not gonna quit. I'm going to beat adversities. I'm going to overcome obstacles and tribulations. And I feel like that song was me pretty much saying like, move over, like I'm doing this. And I have the courage now. You know what I mean? And that is a lot of what Griselda's story was, like she got abused by her husband and she used that as fuel. Like, you know what? You want to do this to me? Okay. And she pretty much did what she had to do to become better than him. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of just let everyone know, like, like I said, I does this, and I'm never going to stop doing this. And I feel like that was my chance. Like when that beat came on one day, like I've heard that beat many times, but one day it just hit me in a different light, and I was like, man. And then my pen just started going off, and it was done from there. So it was kind of like, it was kind of just me saying like I'm here to stay, and this is what I do. And I feel like that freestyle, that just so that's my favorite freestyle that I've ever written, like coming from me. Like that's my favorite one, because I feel like I really came out of my shell, like. So definitely that's where that came from.
That hurts my heart because I got something else to ask you about. Um,
Why does that hurt your heart?
we're going to get there, but nowadays in hip hop, the feminine aspect for positive and negative, and y'all know what I mean. The positive and negative aspects of the feminine voice of hip hop has become so loud that now people are forgetting the power of a woman in the presence of one as well. What is the power of a female MC, and what is the presence of one as well, in your opinion?
Well, I feel like the power of a woman is so immense, because we have we already have people having their preconceived notions. You know what I'm saying? Like right away, people are quick to judge as soon as they see the female shell. Like, oh, she's not gonna be this, she's not gonna be that. Man, I'm not even gonna listen. And I feel like because people always have that preconceived notion, we have the opportunity to wow them even more. Like, okay, let's prove everyone wrong. Everyone's already thinking we're gonna fail. Everyone's already thinking we're not strong enough and we're not gonna overcome it. Let's put it in their face even more because of that. And I feel like we have, women like me, we have a certain gentleness and a certain humbleness, and I feel like that's very needed at this point, at the time we're in hip hop. A lot of women are feeling very insecure, aren't confident, and are acting from that. And it's really sad. It's sad to see. So that's definitely a theme in my music that I've always gravitated towards: women empowerment. I feel like we have the opportunity to personify that in every way. And there's so many young girls, so many women in general who need that type of voice, who need to hear somebody like that when they wake up just to get through the day. Like I've had people tell me, I have one of your songs as my alarm because it makes me feel good, because it makes me feel empowered. And I feel like that's a big part of the women essence, is that empowerment, that we're able to fuel other women. We're able to really, maybe change a direction in a woman's life with a couple of lyrics, with a couple of words, just because it's relatable. Like, wow, she really relates to me, she really goes through the things I go through, she understands. And that's such a beautiful thing with music. Like and I'm not, it's not to put anyone else down, it's just like I feel like a lot of the things that women are doing is just like, oh, I'm better than you. My ass is fatter than yours. I look better. My lips are bigger. I have more expensive bags. I have more expensive shoes. It's like, it's not about that. If not, you're bringing people down by doing that, because you're already putting in their mind like, you can never be like me. You can never get to my level. It's like, I feel like in this thing, like people, like especially the young girls, they gotta want to be like you. Like you gotta give them something positive to want to be like, oh, I want to be strong like her, I want to be confident like her, I want to overcome obstacles like her. And I feel like as women, we have that responsibility on our backs. Like if you have a talent that can change a woman's mind in the sense of making her more confident, making her love herself, making her shine the light on her own self-love, that's more important than anything. And that's what I'm trying to bring. Even when I do talk spicy, it's all about making you feel powerful. Like, you know what? You don't need these people. You don't need fake friends. You don't need the ones who are going to judge you. All you need is yourself. And you could do it. You know what I mean? Don't quit. And that's the vibe I'm trying to bring through my music for sure.
Salute to you, because I wanted to bring that question up more so because you have turned the interview into this. So salute to you, and God's spirit works. I think the most important thing hip hop did within the last 20 years is listen.
Right.
And the first song I think people actually heard was Eve, Love is Blind.
Mm-hmm.
That song touched a lot of people,
Yes.
male and female, by how she described the hatred of a person who did her friend wrong to death. And then from there, I'm not saying women MCs or rappers did not have story raps before. Like shout out to MC Light with Georgie Porgy and all that. Poor Georgie, we have stories.
Yeah.
But the stories became more emotionally intricate, and women started taking charge in the stories as well. Shout out to Shay Noir. She had a story about a man who wanted to propose to her, but she thought he was cheating, and she killed him out of stupidity. Then we have Flufgod with her Jay Dilla tribute, where she teaches a man about heartbreak by showing him his wrongs and putting him in a life-altering situation where the reversal of power was thrown on him. That's one of my favorite songs on Cloud Bars, as you see, I listen.
Shout out to you. That was deep. That was deep. For sure.
Talk about that and the importance of a woman or an MC in general, not just a woman. Why is it important for them not only to tell a story, but for them to narrate a story to bring the listener into their world?
I feel like it's very important because that's what brings you into the essence of the artist. You know what I mean? I feel like a song is a canvas to tell a story on, and it's an opportunity for you to release those thoughts, for you to release that moment in time. And I feel like in that song, it was like you said, I wanted men to understand, like it's not just a one moment, it's not just a one moment experience for you guys. Like for us, it's a week experience, months, years of trauma with one situation that can happen. You know what I mean? And a lot of women go through these type of situations. So that was just me pretty much bringing to light, like, you know, these scars stick with us. We don't just forget about things from one moment to another. And not just women either. Men go through traumatic experiences too. So it's all about, you know, it's all about, and obviously in this day and age, like storytelling isn't prominent. There isn't a lot of tell rappers, and that's an essence that I've definitely wanted to bring back to the culture, to hip hop. And I feel like it's such a beautiful way to tell a story. It's such a beautiful way to let people into that moment that only you felt, only you know those emotions, only you know those feelings. But for that couple of minutes, you could really bring people into that. And that's always been so important to me. And Jay Dilla is one of the best, most amazing producers of all time, and that beat spoke to me in so many ways. And it's funny because the intro of that beat is way longer, and although I wanted to incorporate the intro because it was so beautiful and it just opened your mind just by hearing the beginning, I was like, no, let me just get right to the bars. And yeah, that it's funny because that experience actually happened to a friend of mine. And you know, I spoke to her before I wrote the rhyme. I was like, hey, can I use this experience? Like, I really want to tell this story. I feel like it would be impactful. I feel like even though not a lot of people would relate to the actual story, they would relate to that exchange of power. And she was like, yeah, no problem. So yeah, definitely shining the light on the tribulations that women go through daily. It's hard. It's hard out here for women, you know. And I know we complain and we moan and this and that, but it's like we really do have to overcome a lot of adversity. It's difficult for us. We're quick to be doubted, we're quick to be judged. And you know, it's unfair, but life is unfair. So we have to be powerful enough to stand in our purpose, to stand for what we believe in, and to not allow that power to overcome us. Like there's so many instances in my life on a day-to-day that I have to deal with that power exchange with men. And it's not just, you know, and like I have a man who I love very much. His name is Jamal. He's probably in this live. I love you, baby. But yeah, you know, he's really good and he's amazing. He treats me great. But like as far as like at work and other situations, like it's hard to deal with that exchange, because it's like, especially at work, you can't say too much because your job depends on it. So sometimes we have to swallow our words. We can't always say how we feel. We have to hide a lot. And through music, through it doesn't even have to be music. It could be any other outlet. If you like to draw, like I have a friend who does nails. Her name is Rosie. You know, she lets a lot of her frustrations out through doing nails, and I know that's therapeutic for her. Like every and I always invite women, like a lot of women who listen to my music, they're like, hey, you know, can I talk to you? Can I ask you for advice? Because they can hear through my music that I'm that ear. I'm that ear to listen. I'm that person who might give you a valuable gem that you can carry with you. And the one thing I always tell them is find that niche, find that thing that fuels your fire. Don't let it be a person. Don't let it be a material thing. Like we all have it, whatever it is. It could be knitting, it could be Pilates. My mom is a yoga teacher. Shout out to my mom. Like she didn't find her true purpose till she was 40 something, and she's happier than ever. I'm so proud of her. It's all about finding that thing that you can rest on. Like, I'm going to take my shoes off here. I'm going to chill. I'm going to relax because I'm home. Like, you're never going to have that if you're looking for it in other people, if you're looking for it in a substance, in a material. Like, so yeah, I feel like that's definitely, like, storytelling is a vessel for that. It's a vessel for you to hear, like, you know what? She relates to my story too. She knows what I go through. I can get something valuable and take something valuable with me from this music, from this story. Sure.
And the thing about shout out to Keith Chandler, talk your shit, Flo. One thing I'm gonna tell you is
Bro.
my favorite song from you on Cloud Bars is Dedicated. I think that's the beat that complimented you the most.
Oh wow.
Because it's not about your rhyme technique, it's about your artistry. And that bass line, being that you are a fan of 90s hip hop, Big L, you said, Jada Kiss, Locks, Jay Dilla, you are a baseline savant.
Okay.
If I had to put that in pretty girl terms, you are the girl that people are afraid to speak to, because coming correct means having your shit together at the same time. So when you hit a bass drop and you hit it well, it's like the marriage is so unique that for it to work, there has to be peace and tranquility there. And that's where you find your vibe. When that bass goes, like you were just right there. And I'm just like, damn, I was like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
How do you find the marriage of sound in your rhymes so where you can control a beat and the beat doesn't control you?
It's because I feel like I give the beat its own spotlight. Like I don't want for my lyricism and my bars to like completely overpower the beat. Like I want it to be a harmony, like 50-50 together. Like I don't want it to be just me rapping and getting every bar that I can and making sure, like it's more about I'm really walking on it. Like I'm dancing on it. Like, you know, that's a term a lot of people use, but and I know it's cliche, but that's really what it is. It's like it's a dance. It's a dance. Like you really have to just feel it out and marry yourself with it. That's the best way for me to explain it. Like I really want people to hear the beat for itself outside of me rhyming. You know what I mean? And I feel like the way I rhyme is you can hear that. You can hear that I'm trying to give the beat that spotlight. And yeah, it's because the music always speaks to me first before anything. there's a lot of times where I'm just chilling and I write a couple bars, and I'll keep it in the stash, but it never really comes to life until I hear that right beat. Like I can have a freestyle sitting in my notes for months until I hear the perfect sound, and I'm like, that's the one that I was waiting for. And I always know when I'm forcing it, like, oh, let me just try to put this freestyle over this beat. It doesn't work right because it wasn't the right beat for it. You know what I mean? And I have a good ear when it comes to that. Like certain freestyles, certain flows don't match with every beat. And I feel like a lot of rappers have that messed up. Like they'll try to fit a certain type of flow, a certain type of cadence over a beat that it doesn't belong on. And then you're just messing up the whole song, the whole freestyle, whatever project you're trying to put out. So for me, it's really just like listening to the beat, listening to what it's telling me, like, hey, I don't want you to put a word here. I don't want you to say that right there. Do it like this. Like I pretty much can hear it speaking to me a bit. Like, so definitely paying attention to the rhythms, to the rhythm in the beat and how it's speaking to me, for sure.
I love you on that song. Dedicated was like the one that made me go, okay, yeah, I know she can rhyme, but this is like where the artistry comes. And I use that to measure you against Paper Girl and News,
Yeah.
because you with a hook and you with bar play, you're two different artists from the same aura.
Mm.
What do you prefer? To rhyme or the bar structure with a hook? What do you like better?
It honestly, to rhyme. Like that's like a no-brainer for me. Like sometimes I kick myself in the butt because I know that to make music in its entirety, I have to add a hook. And that this project I'm about to come out with, y'all not ready for this type of fluff, but y'all gonna have to get ready. Let me just say that. But at some point I had to tell myself, okay, you gotta move on to a different structure, which I'm totally open to and obviously going to do. And I like you said, I do have songs that have that structure, but my home is the wordplay. My home is the bars. My home is the freestyles. Like I can always lay my head to rest there. And I feel like, why run away from it? Why try to be something I'm not? Like it's not to say that I'm not gonna have that type of music, because I am, but I'm always gonna keep that spotlight on my bars. I feel like it deserves it. I feel like I've worked really hard to get this far, to get this type of notoriety, and I shouldn't run away from that. I shouldn't try to fit a mold. And I can do a different type of structured song too. It doesn't matter, but you're going to know that this is my niche. This is my forte. This is what I actually do, but I can hang with this as well. But I honestly I would pick rhymes over a hook and bars any day. It might be sad. I'm sorry, but that's who I
You're a Wu-Tang baby. You are a Wu-Tang baby.
am.
Wu-Tang made everybody rhyme without hooks.
I'm
It
from
makes
that
sense.
era. Listen, I was born in Queens, New York,
Shout out
Elmhurst,
to Queens.
New York. We got Roxanne Shante, we got LL Cool J, we got Nas, we got the best of them. So it's like, but yeah, man, it's just growing up, that's really what I gravitated towards, was just really the bar structure and like, damn. Or you know what I used to watch a lot? Battle
Tell me.
rap, URL. Like that was my jam right there. Hollow to Dawn, Conceited, all these guys, Arsenal. Like I was heavy into that for sure.
So your new single you have out now, Big Swag. Tell us about that and where you're taking your music into the future as we look forward to seeing and hearing more of you.
Yes, yes, yes. So, Big Swag was a project that I actually worked on for a really long time because I was really building that song. The engineers, the producers I worked with for that, they were in my ear. They were on my shoulder, like, Steph, don't just let that go. That song is amazing. Like, build on that, make it better. You can make it sound better. And that's exactly what I did. So that song is just like me stepping out of the storytelling, stepping out of the emotion, stepping out of having to prove something. It was just me letting go and letting people see, like, man, I got big swag. Like, this is fluff. Like, I can also do this, but I could be hyper, I could be energetic, I could bring you that positive vibe. And yeah, that's where that song came from. It was just me wanting to let go of everything and let loose, and just, you know, bring a hype energy to people. Like, I wanted, like, a lot of people tell me that they like listening to that song while they work out. It's a good workout song. It's a good motivational song. And that's really what I wanted to do with Big Swag. And pertaining to new music coming out, I have a project that I am working on. It's in the works. I really don't want to tell you the name though. It's a secret, y'all. It's a secret, but just know that it's definitely gonna be out very, very soon. One thing I did want to tell you guys about is that I'm putting together a concert when the weather starts getting better. It's gonna be called the Fluff Service, and it's just pretty much helping the homeless. I want to put a concert on for the homeless. I feel like they deserve it. You know, I want to do a food drive, a clothes drive. That's coming up really, really soon. So I'm gonna need artists to come out for that. If you want to perform, you know, I'll definitely give everyone the details very soon. But you could definitely be expecting freestyles from me every other week or every week. I'm going to be putting out new bars. Always look out for those. I also want people to interact with me more as far as what beats do you guys want to hear me spit on? You know, I'm always down for a new freestyle. So let me know what beats y'all want. Y'all want me to spit over, and I got y'all. But as far as new music, that's coming. That's underway very, very soon, y'all. And trust me, it was worth the wait. It was worth the wait. I'm gonna tell you that. Definitely a sound, and I hope people accept it. I hope people embrace it. It's definitely a new sounding fluff. A lot of hooks, so be ready for that. But yeah, I think it's time. I've been working on it for a while, and yeah, very, very soon, y'all.
I got a beat for you. I want to hear you rhyme on Heaven by Ninth Wonder.
Heaven by that's a classic. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
we gonna do
And
it.
the
The next
dedicated beat.
the next beat I'm rapping over is gonna be this is a spoiler alert, y'all. It's gonna be Eve, What Y'all Want, because my
Okay.
said that would be a dope one, and I think it would too. So I'm gonna personify some little Eve vibes on that. Y'all gonna like it for sure.
Shout out to the very wonderful Miss Maureen Taylor who said hi.
That's my
Thank you.
mom. That's my mom. Hey, mom. My mom is an amazing yoga teacher, guys. If you guys ever want to explore your spirituality, if you guys ever want to get more flexible, honestly, yoga is good for so many things. Hit my mom up. She's amazing. She will take care of you. And I love her so much. I would not be the woman I was today without my mom. She has showed me so much love, so much support. She's such a strong woman. And I love you, mom, so much.
Thank you for joining us. And I saw your yoga page, and wow, you are a superhero. Shout out to you. But we've come to the end of this interview. So right now, being that people have been introduced to you, it's time for you to do what I call stand on your square. It's time for you to talk your noise. So I'm gonna give you about like 30 seconds. Give everybody who Flufgod God is and tell them why they should be listening to you and not to miss out. Ready? Go.
All right, y'all. This is your girl Fluff God, and you need to stay tuned in with me because I'm bringing that authentic hip hop. I'm bringing that authentic rap with a little bit of Hispanic flow, and I'm gonna humble you. I'm gonna make you feel confident. I'm gonna make you feel energy. I'm gonna tune you into your spirituality. I have a lot of new music coming out, so stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for all my freestyles. You could catch a freestyle from me every other week or every week. I'm very active with that. Hit me up on Instagram. All my handles are Fluff God. I'm here to stay, baby. I got a show on March 9th with my girl Diana Graphics. Look out for the flyer for that. And I appreciate you guys for coming out and listening to me on Heritage Hip Hop. Shout out to you, Heritage Hip Hop, for making this possible, for giving me an opportunity, a platform. Shout out to my team, True and Living. Shout out to my family, my friends. Shout out to my boo, Jamal. I love you, Pest. And I love y'all. Thank you for always staying tuned in with me. All my clouds, you feel me? I got a lot of exciting things coming up. So stay tuned. I'm here to stay. I love you guys. Peace out.
And she thinks that's the end of the interview. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not. Thank you for joining us this evening. And now it's time for us to play our game. The game is called the Rapid Fire Questions. Oh, yeah, you got set up on that one. All right, everybody. It's time for the Rapid Fire Questions. These are not yes/no questions. These are questions to show the depth of knowledge of the artist on themselves, the craft, and the culture that they portray. Are you ready to play?
Yes.
Here we go. What song from another artist or what album from another artist perfectly describes you?
Jadakiss, By Your Side.
Oh, God, that's a great one. Okay. What's the perfect hip hop beat? Meaning if somebody did not come out with this beat, you would have had it and it'd been your first single.
Missy Elliott, Work It.
What's the best part about being a woman, and what does the world miss by not understanding a woman?
The best part about being a woman is being able to empower other women. And the thing that people don't understand about women is that we navigate through feeling and emotion and not logic.
The world lies to us every day by telling us that men and women are opposite sex. We're not. Because when you oppose, you go to war. When you compliment, you create God and life. What's the best compliment that ever gave you life? And what is the best compliment you've given to give life?
What is the best? What? I'm sorry. What do you mean by compliment?
However you take it.
Compliment. Let me see. Can we come back to that question?
Yeah, as long as you're not tapping. Because you tapping.
I'm not tapping.
Okay.
The next one, we come back to that last question.
Okay. Queens and Jersey City has molded one of the most prolific artists in Flufgod.
Mm-hmm.
What do you take from Queens, or what do you take from Jersey City that makes you who you are?
From Queens, some of the best rappers to ever do it, like Roxanne Shante, LL Cool J, Nas. I'm very highly influenced by those artists. And as far as Jersey City, like this is the city that gave me the confidence to rap. The people that I networked with and met to become the artist that I am, I all met here in Jersey City.
Salute. I'm glad you said that. We got 3 more questions, but before we go back to the tap and then we got the outro. My next question is this. As a girl that became a woman, knowledge of self and knowledge of your emotions is what made you develop.
Yes.
But music fed your soul and made you whole, correct?
Yes, correct.
What is Flufgod without music?
Flufgod without music is a lost soul. She's depressed, she's full of anxiety and not sure of herself. Music gives me confidence, music gives me security, music gives me a purpose, for sure.
The most important superhero in your life is your mom, for how you speak.
Yes.
Am I right? Okay. How did your mother make you a better artist?
My mother made me a better artist by teaching me perseverance, teaching me to never give up, teaching me that obstacles are always going to come your way, that you have to overcome them no matter what, and you have to wake up every day and show up for yourself no matter what. And those are the qualities that I portray through my music, for sure.
I wanted to make sure you did that because my mom passed away in 2017. And the way she left was not a way I wouldn't want anybody to experience. So I wanted to give respect to you and to your mom. Miss Taylor, it is an honor to be able to have a platform where you can hear your daughter speak of you in a loving way.
My mom is definitely my superhero, and I wouldn't be the woman I am without her. So, Mom, this is for you. I love you.
So now, what's the best compliment you've been given, and what's the best compliment you've received?
Okay, so the best compliment I've been given is that I The best compliment I've been given is that I'm relatable, like that I'm a humble person and that I'm able to make music that others can relate to and that others feel home and welcomed in. For sure. That's been my number one compliment from one of my coworkers. She told me, she was like, "Hey, I feel like the reason why your music is so dope is because I could feel feelings the feelings that you portrayed are feelings that I have felt, and I felt that in your music." And that was one of the nicest compliments I've ever got. um now one of the nicest compliments I've ever given, you said, would be, let's see. I would have to say one of the nicest compliments I've ever given was to my mom. Like one time I just had a one-on-one with her where I told her how proud I was of her to come to this point and to discover her niche so, later on in life, and that, it doesn't matter how late she discovered it and that it makes her so happy. And her pursuing that dream and pursuing her purpose is kind of what fueled me to pursue my purpose, amongst other things, but that was definitely one of the main things. And yeah, for sure.
Well, we got to the end of the platform. How did you like being on Heritage Hip Hop, and would you think other people would benefit or would like coming onto the platform?
Absolutely. It was such a dope experience. It was so dope how much you actually care about my music, about my bar content, about certain moments in my music that maybe I even forgot about, feelings that I forgot I had while I wrote something. And you really got to the nitty-gritty of that. I appreciate how you're so knowledgeable about hip hop, about the sounds, about people who have influenced it. You're very knowledgeable about the culture, and different cultures that have influenced hip hop, which is very important. And I feel like artists would definitely benefit from coming on this platform, from sharing this experience with you. And yeah, this has been one of my first experiences like this, so I'm really appreciative. And I hope maybe we could do this again one day. I'll definitely put the word out to other artists I know. But yeah, I've had a really good time. You're awesome, bro, for sure.
Thank you, thank you. So Jersey City, let me. What's up? Let me in, yo. What's going on, Jersey City?
My boy's on fire. He's ready. He's ready to take it to the next level. Cause you feel me? I feel like most interviews that I've seen, it's more about who's your top 5 favorite rappers, where were you born, how old are you, all these generic questions. It's like we're not really getting to know the person. We're not really getting to know, what makes you tick, what fuels your fire, what made you want to write the things you wrote. You know what I mean? That's really what matters. So this is such a dope space for sure. You really are doing something amazing for us. It's so hard for unsigned artists to break in and to do this. It's like it's a constant struggle. People don't see the struggle we have outside of doing music, like waking up, going to work every day, overcoming the odds. Your car breaks down, your rent is late. Like, I'm very transparent. I go through a lot of things, like, but you know what? It's worth it. It's worth it when you're able to do this, when you're able to let people in and make a difference in people's lives. That's really what it's all about.
I like that shirt that you're wearing.
You feel me?
Yeah, we got
I
we got to get you on one of these though.
gotta get you
Yeah.
one of these.
I get you one of those. So y'all can go to tpublic.com and put a Heritage Hip Hop and get you some merch. You know what I'm saying? We need to put her on one. So y'all make sure it happens. All right. But thank you for coming on Heritage Hip Hop. It's time for me to ask you the most important question of the first interview. Yes, you could come back. Yes, I have an open door policy. As long as you make good music, it's easy to interview. Because if your music was trash, I couldn't ask you nothing. I'll just be like, why did you rap? Like, why did you do that? Y'all ready for this to end?
What made you want to do this for real?
Like, there was no job applications to that. Come on, yo. Walmart is hiring all the time. Nigga, drive a bus. Like, I would have said something.
Man.
But because you make good music, it's easy to have an interview with you because my interview style, as you see, is a conversation. And a good conversation sparks from interest. And the most important question I'm going to ask you is in the interest of you. 500 years from now, when we go to the Hip Hop Hall of Fame and Flufgod is on the wall representing Queens or Jersey City or both, somebody's going to hit that red button and your hologram is going to come out and they're going to see you rhyming and they're going to hear your music. So 500 years from now, somebody's going to be influenced by your music. Mm-hmm. What is the legacy you leave behind that made the world better because you did hip hop music?
So the legacy I would want to leave behind is to, not allow other people's opinions of you dictate what you're going to do in life, and to always find your niche. Always find the thing that fuels your fire, because that's what's going to set you free in life. That's what's going to propel you to bigger things. That's what's going to open your doors. When you find that thing that you're good at, that you want to spend time doing, that you want to literally trade everything for, like that's your resting place that you could lay your head on. Like, don't look for that in things. Don't look for that in people. Don't look for that in materials. Look for that in a talent, in a skill, in a thing that can change the world, that can change somebody's mind, that can make somebody feel better, that can change somebody's day. So that definitely would be the legacy that I leave behind, is for people to always find that thing that makes them feel like a better person, and it not be outside of you. It has to be inside of you. And, if I could change any woman's life by making her feel more powerful, making her feel like it doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter how much you weigh, it doesn't matter how tall you are, if your butt is big or small, if your boobs are big or small, if your body's perfect, it doesn't matter. You could still do anything you want to do, no matter what. Yes.
And somebody likes all of it, so the hell with people who don't. Because believe me, there's somebody for everybody, for real. And we're not going to go there because this show is over. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Shout out to my partner who does A&N and R&B. For those who like R&B music, follow A&N on R&B. Here it is. Follow A&N on R&B. For all up-and-coming R&B artists, Heritage Hip Hop has a sister program where there's the cat. Heritage Hip Hop.
She don't fuck with y'all.
Yeah, she ain't ready. And Heritage Hip Hop has a sister program that does R&B interviews on R&B music with all R&B artists. So if you would like to go do the R&B thing with us, A&N on R&B, follow them on IG, follow the YouTube page. Today, song of the week from Heritage Hip Hop today, it would be Big Swag. Yeah. I like Dedicated on the Cloud Bars, but Big Swag is her new thing. Lo, that's your pick? You want Big Swag?
Do Big Swag, yes.
Y'all do Big Swag. I'm doing Dedicated. That's my shit.
Big Swag.
All right. So everybody, thank you for watching.
Thank you, guys.
May the Most High bless you. But remember, hip hop is a culture. No matter if you rhyme, dance, draw, whatever it is that you do, you are a creator. And since God is a living God, our culture is alive. You said one thing in the interview I hate, and that's culture vulture. A vulture is a predator that preys on dying or dead things. And since our God is alive, hip hop is not dead. So may the Most High be blessed. May you be blessed. And Flufgod, thank you. And may you be blessed. So with that being said, peace. And we out.
We out.
Real hip hop. Real hip hop. We here. Real hip hop. For real.